Hi, I'm Tony Kramer, your host of the Agriculture Technology Podcast, and I'm sitting down with agriculture technology and equipment experts to help you enhance your operation for today, tomorrow, and into the future. In this episode, I talk with Jason Arts about the new F8 and F9 series of John Deere Self-Propelled Forage harvesters. With that, let's dive into the show. Like I said, we are going to be talking self-propelled forage harvesters in this episode. I'm very excited to welcome back to the show Jason Arts. He is a returning guest on the show. We talked about some forage harvesters back a handful of episodes ago. So now we're bringing Jason back to talk about these brand new series of forage harvesters. So Jason, before we dive into it, why don't you remind our listeners, who you are, what you do, where you come from, and how you got to where you are today?
Yeah, like Tony said, I'm Jason Arts. I'm actually the product manager for the forage harvesters for RDO Midwest Ag, based out of Aberdeen, South Dakota, but I actually cover all the locations in Midwest Ag. Before this role, 2 years ago, I was a technician for RDO for 16 years. I specialize in the self-propelled forage harvesters on the service end of it. I got this new role presented to me a couple years ago, and I've been rolling with it.
Well, it was a perfect fit to get you into this role. I know you have a wealth of knowledge when it comes to these forage harvesters, and I'm excited to hear you talk about and learn more about these new F8s and F9s. And that's actually what I want you to go over first. So one of the biggest or most prevalent things that people will notice is the new name change in design. Tell us a little bit about, what it was in the past and where we are going to with these new forage harvesters.
So yeah, and John Deere's changing their naming practices now. We're changing the way we number and label our equipment based on horsepower ranges. So like our F8 series, that replaces our 8000 series self-propelled forage harvesters. So they're our standard body machines. The F9 series replaces all our 9000 series machines that are actually our wide body machines. So it's pretty exciting on the way they did it. You go from F8 100 all the way up to F8 500s. In that range, and the F9s, F9 500 to F9 1000. So
kind of like you were saying, Jason, this is following the tractors and the combines. We have the F8 or the F9 designation based on the standard body frames or the wide body frames. And then, of course, we've got the different horsepower ranges that go along with that.
Yes, we do.
So with that, with the change in the naming scheme, the horsepower, I know there's some exciting things with the engine, just the overall performance and efficiency of these machines. Tell us a little bit about the changes with the engines and where we can find which engines in this lineup of forage harvesters.
So starting out with our F8 series 100s all the way up to F8 600s here. We're running a new JDX 14, so it's a 13.6 engine. Been proven engine, been tough, reliable. We've got it in our F8 series platforms. F9 series, we have two platforms of engines, F9 700, F9 600, and our F9 500 run the 18-liter John Deere engine, and our F9 1000 and our F9 900 run the 24-liter V12 LeBaire. So when we look at the horsepower ranges of our F8 series, starting with 100, our horsepower is at 419 horsepower. And then we go all the way up into the 636 horsepower. Our power ranges, we're actually advertising in PS. There's a little conversion factor. You have to convert it to horsepower, but it's not that much difference in it. So we're going to go with our F9 700, F9 600, F9 500. That's our 18-liter Deere engine, and we're horsepower ranges of 754 up to 838 horsepower. Then our F9 1000 and our F9 900, we go from a horsepower range to 877 all the way up to 1,006 horsepower now. So John Deere has a machine that'll put out over 1,000 horsepower. That's really exciting.
Yeah, I know that was one of the big things with these new F8s and F9s is the changes in engines and what we can do. And you and I both know that you take in that amount of forage, whether it's corn or hay or whatever you're picking up, to be able to chew that up and spit it out the way it does definitely takes horsepower. So it's really exciting to see these new performance and efficiency gains with the different engines and the horsepower ratings. Now, I know with that, they're also adding some new technology, I guess. Tell us a little bit about some of the updates that are coming to some of the smart automation and technology with these new series of forage harvesters.
So now with all the new technology that we have coming out here, we've actually have with our 18-liter Deere engines in our F9 700 down to our F9 500s, we actually have HarvestMotion Plus. So it's actually an extra power bulge at peak torque. With more automation, we actually have the Pro Touch Harvest. So these new machines are going to come out with like the new X9 combine cabs on them. You got more room, more leg room. We've got swivel seat in them. We'll have Gen 5 display with a 7,000 receiver. We're going to have a new active fill control, consistent truck filling. Also, along with that, we'll have our HarvestLab 3000 on there, measuring your tonnage and your moisture. Also, you can put an activation on there where you can do constituent sensing for your starches, your sugars, your NDA, NDF, and stuff on the fly as we're going through the field. That's taking 3,000 samples per second. So we can actually document that, and it all goes into the Ops Center.
Yeah, so that's a lot of, I know we've had the HarvestLab 3000 sensor and the constituent sensing for a little while, but Deere really stepped it up in terms of this series of forage harvesters and bringing, like you said, the combine cab with all the updated controls, things like that. But then, putting in the G5 displays, the 7,500 receivers, all that stuff is really coming up to speed with the technology. So it's not just the engines and the horsepowers anymore with these machines. There's a lot of technology and smart automation involved. Now, the next thing I know that there was an upgrade to is we've got some new kernel processors to talk about. Tell us a little bit about the changes and updates to the KPs with these forage harvesters.
John Deere came out with a total new design for their ultimate KP. So it's the John Deere Ultimate Kernel Processor. It's a 10-inch roll with bearing temperature monitoring on our John Deere kernel processor, along with automatic electric roll adjust. We've changed the way we mount our kernel processors anymore. Before we had them a swing mechanism in there where we actually could swing the KP into place. When we weren't using it, we swung it up out of the crop stream. As we did that, the grass chute went into the crop stream, and then we took our kernel processor out. We had some complaints of some cab noise with that. So Deere stepped up, and the way we mount them into our new machines now is they're frame mounted now. So we can still crane them in, but then once we get them craned in, we put them on the frame rails, and we'll roll the kernel processors into crop stream with that new John Deere Ultimate KP. We went the next step higher and kind of topped ourselves, and we also have the new John Deere Extreme KP with 12-inch diameter rolls. So larger diameter rolls, less wear, better throughput. That also has bearing temperature monitoring on it too, to monitor the temperature of the bearings. Also, with this new series, there is an option for electric adjust on our Extreme KPs now. Before, it was a manual adjust. Now there'll be an option for electric adjust. So, and it swings into place just like the Ultimate.
So there again, we talk about just the level of technology being added, not only John Deere updating the kernel processors and, maximizing the quality of feed and throughput, like you're saying, but adding sensors, making sure the operator is aware of what's going on. So great updates coming on those kernel processors as well. Now, I also know there was some changes or some updates, some great updates to the drivetrain of these forage harvesters. Tell us a little bit about that.
Now, John Deere's introducing as an option of CTI. central tire inflation. So you can order these machines with or without central tire inflation. What it is if you order it with central tire inflation, you can actually change the pressure of your tires when you're in either field mode or going down the highway for better smooth ride going down the road. Once you get to the field, you can adjust the tire pressure down for less compaction. And also with the rear axle now, we actually made it our steering angle a lot tighter. So we increased the steering angle by 17%.
I would imagine in some of those tight quarters, opening up fields or just working around some of the trucks in the field next to you, a tighter turn angle is going to be greatly appreciated by a lot of those operators. And we talk about the operators and everything that they're doing and how fast-paced forage harvest is. Let's go back and talk a little more about the operator comforts, the creature comforts in this new cab, similar to what we have on the combines. Tell us a little bit about some of those updates when it comes to the operator station.
We're introducing a swivel seat, so it actually swing 8 degrees to the right for better comfort, so guys doesn't to crank your neck around. New hydro handle, so we're going to go to the new style hydro handle, so everything will be integrated onto the hydro handle. You can program each function, whatever you want on the hydro handle. The upgraded GreenStar technology. Before, like when we were talking about the G5, now introducing, we could run it into other machines. Before, we were stuck in the Stone Age back actually with our 8000s and 9000s. I mean, we still got a command center or a Gen 2630 that we could have put in there. So everybody was, when are we going to come up with new technology in here? So that was pretty cool when they did this. We've got all new lighting package on there, better lighting, more visibility at night and stuff. You could order 3 different packages as far as the cab. You can order the select package, which is just our basic run-of-the-mill cab comfort. Premium, which is the next level, and then the ultimate package, where you can actually get the heated and cool seats, leather steering wheel, stuff like that. With the cab comfort and also with the swivel seat, we've actually increased our turning radius of our spout, so we actually can move ahead another 22 degrees forward, right or left, at maximum height only, though, so we don't hit the cab. That's going to be a huge game saver, too. So guys want to be able to move that spout forward.
Definitely a lot of great additions when it comes to operator comfort, creature comforts. You talk about the upgrade in the GreenStar technology. That was always one of the things where I would scratch my head. I'd look at the cab of a forage harvester and go, why in the world do we still have a 2630 in that thing? But that is no more. We don't have to worry about that. We got the G5 command centers integrated into the armrest there and all of the new updated technology. So a welcome addition or a welcome upgrade to the self-propelled forage harvester lineup. So, and like you said, you can decide what level of technology and creature comforts you get in your machine. So a lot of great updates, a lot of great information. I am really excited to see these new F8s, F9s hit the ground and get out there in the field with our customers. Now, if somebody wants to learn more about any of the stuff that we talked about here, Jason, where can they go? Who can they talk to?
The internet's been huge. Social media, everything as far as on this. Deere's actually going to full production release pamphlets and stuff within the next couple of weeks here, early August, I would say. Pricing on that will be early August. We'll be able to early order program of these machines come September. You can reach out and talk to any of your account managers, store managers, even product managers for information on them. We're here to serve the customer and help them out with whatever they need.
Absolutely. Yeah. Still very fresh information. There's more to come on everything regarding the F8 and F9 series of self-propelled forage harvesters. So keep your eyes and ears peeled. There'll be more information to come as John Deere continues to roll this out. So thank you very much, Jason, for taking the time out of your day to chat with me about this new series of forage harvesters. Really excited to hear about them and learn more about what John Deere did to make these updates. So thanks again for doing this.
Anytime. It's my pleasure. Hopefully be able to do another one.
Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already. You can subscribe to the show on the many different podcasting apps that we're streaming this out to, such as Apple, Google, Spotify, as well as many others. While you're out there, drop us a review. We'd love to hear what you think about the show. And finally, make sure to follow RDO Equipment Company on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and catch all of our latest videos on YouTube.